Before Africa was divided by foreign hands, it was a continent of kingdoms, trade routes, empires, and rich civilizations. But in the late 19th century, a storm was brewing in Europe, one that would forever change Africa's fate. This is the untold story of how an entire continent was stolen without a single battle on its soil. This is the Scramble for Africa. The Berlin Conference, Africa was not invited. In 1884, in a cold room in Berlin, Europe's most powerful men gathered to decide the fate of a continent that none of them truly understood. This is the story of betrayal, greed, and the carving of Africa, without a single African in the room. By the late 1800s, Europe was hungry for rubber, gold, ivory, and power. Industrial revolutions demanded resources. Empires craved expansion. Africa, vast and rich, became the prize. In November 1884, German Chancellor Otto von Bismarck invited 14 European nations and the United States to Berlin. Their goal: avoid war over Africa by dividing it like slices of a cake. No African leaders were invited. No kings, no chiefs, no elders. The continent's future was redrawn without a single African voice. Borders ignored cultures, languages, and history. Britain claimed East and Southern Africa. France took the West. Belgium, under King Leopold II, seized the Congo, not for Belgium, but for himself. The continent was carved like meat on a platter. Leopold called it the Congo Free State. But it was anything but free. His soldiers cut off hands of workers who didn't meet rubber quotas. 10 million died in one of history's forgotten genocides. African kingdoms sent envoys, wrote letters, pleaded for peace. They were ignored. Their words never made it past European ears. Their lands, cultures, and sovereignties reduced to zones of profit. By 1900, over 90% of Africa was under European rule. Entire civilizations disrupted, languages outlawed, cultures demonized. But seeds of resistance were already beginning to grow. Africa was not at the table, but it was on the menu. The Berlin Conference set in motion a century of pain, resistance, and survival. But this is not where the story ends. To understand Africa today, we must first confront the lies told about its past. How Africa resisted colonization. They came with guns, lies, and flags. But Africa did not kneel quietly. From mountains to coasts, from forests to deserts, resistance blazed across the continent. This is the story of defiance, of warriors, kings, queens, and common people who stood against an empire. In Ethiopia, Emperor Menelik II saw what was coming. He armed his people, trained his army, and read the treaties they tried to twist. At the Battle of Adwa in 1896, Ethiopian forces crushed the Italian army. It was a victory that shocked Europe and gave Africa hope. In West Africa, Samori Touré built a powerful empire through trade and strategy. When the French came, he fought them for over 16 years, using guerrilla tactics and diplomacy. In today's Nigeria, Queen Amina of Zazzau had already built walls and commanded armies centuries before colonizers arrived. And when they did, new queens like Ya Asantewa of the Ashanti took up arms. In 1900, she led the Ashanti Rebellion against British forces. In the south, Shaka Zulu had long before revolutionized African warfare. His legacy inspired later Zulu uprisings, as well as resistance in Zimbabwe by the Shona and Ndebele under leaders like Mbuya Nehanda and Lobengula. Resistance